Hi everyone, this is FIDE Master Charles Galofre. In today's video lecture I am going to share with you a truly remarkable game. It's a game between Donald Byrne and Bobby Fischer. This is going to be the first game in our collection or in our series of Fischer's games. He's definitely one of the greatest players that ever played the game, and this game Fischer was black. So Byrne started off with knight to f3, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, d4, castles, bishop f4. Byrne is playing classically d5, the Grunfeld defense, and queen to b3, the Russian variation. The idea of this move is to basically pressure the queen side, and as a result making it difficult for this bishop to develop somewhere actively along the diagonal. So, not to mention pressure the d5 pawn. So now black captures on c4, queen takes c4, and c6. This is a prophylactic move. He's playing basically towards white's classical center. White is going to play e4 at one point, and he's going to have what's referred to as a classical center. And by having the pawn on c6, he's preventing any advances from white's center. Additionally, he's also anchoring that square, because if white were to advance to e5, he could play knight to d5 at any moment. Positionally speaking, the pawn on c6 is also very valuable because it prevents this knight from moving to d5 or to b5. So e4, knight bd7, and rook to d1. Okay, so far both sides are developing classically, and nobody's really violated any opening principles up to this point. So knight to b6, gaining a tempo on the queen, queen to c5, and bishop to g4. So far what we've noticed is that even though that white has this overwhelming advantage in the center, he has jeopardized his position a bit by overexposing his queen, especially so early in the game. With that said, if you take a look at black's development, all of black's pieces have been developed, and as a result, he has a playable position. So here Byrne played bishop to g5, and now he violated an opening principle, and one that's very dear to me, which is the element of time. He's moving the same piece twice in the opening, and he's doing it in a situation when his king is in the center of the board, and as a result, tactics very soon ensue in this game. Try to see if you could identify any weaknesses in the position and try to come up with a move for black. With that said, black played this very shocking knight to a4. And that move is definitely going to go down as one of the most remarkable moments in chess. It's just a brilliant combination, especially for a boy that's 13 years old. That's the age that Fischer had at the time that he was playing this game. To see a combination like this is just truly incredible. Wait until you see the rest of the game. So here white played queen to a3, but what if he played differently? If knight takes a4, then knight takes c4, queen to c1, queen to a5 check, knight c3, bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3, and knight takes g5, and black is winning. So going back, in this position, if queen takes e7, then queen to a5 check, b4, queen takes knight, queen takes knight, rook f to e8, bishop e7, bishop takes knight, pawn takes, and bishop to f8, attacking the pinned piece, and winning it thereafter with a clearly better position. So after knight to a4, white proceeded with queen to a3. Black plays knight takes c3, pawn takes c3, and knight takes c4. Now take a look at the chaos that pretty soon is unleashed in the middle of the board. Bishop takes e7, forking the bishop and the queen, and now black plays queen to b6, a brilliant move. Because the king is in the center of the board, white has just infinite problems here. bishop c4, trying to speed up his development and bring his king to safety. Take notice that had he played bishop takes rook, then bishop takes rook, queen b3, and now the final touch, knight takes c3, winning. Obviously, if queen takes knight, then bishop to b4 pins the queen. So after bishop c4, black played knight takes c3, bishop c5. Notice that if queen takes knight, then we play rook f2 e8, pinning the bishop, bishop takes f7, king takes f7, knight g5 check, king takes bishop, castles, bishop takes rook, rook takes bishop, and queen to b5, and white is winning. I mean, black is winning. So in the game, after knight takes pawn, white plays bishop to c5, Fischer plays rook f2 e8, and after king to f1, try to see if you can see what Fischer played in this position. Notice that the knight is hanging and the queen is being attacked. Material is even. Fischer played bishop to e6. A truly remarkable move, once again making this game the more memorable. Bishop takes queen. Bishop takes bishop check. King to g1. Knight to e2 check. King f1. Knight takes pawn check. King g1. Knight e2 check. Knight c3 check. Pawn takes bishop. Now it's obvious that black is winning. Bishop d5. Knight e4. h4. h5. Knight e5. King g7. The game really doesn't need much more explanation. King g1, bishop c5. Now the white king is in a mating net. King d1, bishop b3 check. Knight e2 check. Knight c3 check. And after rook c2, the game is over. The game ended on move 41, and this became known as the game of the century.